Tanzania. And I'm not so sure we receive the same kind of interest from Tanzania when you go to the polls. Ni kiherehere ama ni shughuli gani?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for us to appreciate the fact that we are part of the East Africa and we are an East African community. And so what is happening in Tanzania, or what happens in Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, all the East African community members also affect this country because one, they are our trade partner, two, they are globally located within the same region as us. So it is not kierere. If you look at the global media, all the big fishes in this world globally, China, the US, when there is an election in those big countries, it's a global event because what happens in those countries, the elections and therefore the government that is formed affects the entire region. And so it is not kierere. In fact, I looked at the commentaries today, and some of the people commenting are actually not Tanzanians, they're not Kenyans. They are actually people from Europe, people from America. Why? It is because they know that what happens in one part of the world affects them. And so Kenyans are people that are enlightened in this region. Actually, we are the big brothers in this region. And we need to be very careful and very keen in also analyzing what is happening to our sister countries. And so Kenyans have all the rights to be able to discuss Tanzanian elections. Actually, you also saw the civil society. They went to Tanzania not because of elections, because of the atrocities that is being committed in this country. And so we are the big brother, and so we cannot, as big brothers, definitely we go everywhere to try and correct our small sisters.
The question is because even in the region, and we were looking at Ugandan papers as well this morning, they make no mention of Tanzania and the elections there, but they do share a border as well, a common border.
Uganda is a small brother. You know, at home, the big brother, the elder brother is the one that is supposed to look at what is happening. Those young ones do not probably even understand what is happening. So Uganda, we can forgive them, but I know with time, we will see Uganda starting to go into the national scene, into the international scene. I actually saw some Nigerians commenting on Tanzania elections. They do not share any common board, they do not show any common trade bloc, but you actually sign that because they understand what is happening globally, they actually poke their noses. So the bigger you grow politically, economically, you start looking at what is happening to the other states that are close to you. So I have actually seen our politicians, I have seen Martha Karua going even all the way to Uganda to be able to help one that has been incarcerated there, the opposition leader, Besigye, for some time. But you can never see Ugandans coming to Kenya, you can never see them going to Tanzania because they were young brothers. They might not be able to be at the pedestal where Kenyans are. And so for us being able to intervene, us being able to analyze, us being able to actually understand that elections in Tanzania affects us is an important thing globally to say that Kenyans have taken their position that they're supposed to take.
But there's some, we've also been criticized quite a bit by even our neighbors of being a bit too quick to meddle in their issues. For example, when we have our activists cross the border and in support of some of the opposition figures there. We've seen what happened in Tanzania, that the authorities there were not very happy with that, and it was actually a security situation. The same happening in Uganda currently. 2 Kenyan activists who went to Uganda are still cannot be accounted for. And do you understand where they're coming from? That they may not really be quick to welcome this kind of meddling from Kenyans?
Well, I wouldn't want to meddle into other countries' affairs. But I ask you a question. Do we have democracy in Tanzania? Do we have democracy in Uganda? And the answer is simply no. And the reason why we are actually seeing today, Samia is running versus Suluhu. This can never happen in Kenya. It basically tells you that democracy is in Kenya. And the reason why we are now starting to export democracy, when we actually realize that our neighbors do not have the same values that we do have in terms of how we manage our state affairs. Try the Gen Z thing in Uganda. They tried. Only 23 of them went to the streets. And you know what? The president told them, I will shoot you dead. Try these things in Tanzania. You will never see it. And basically, the reason why we actually see Kenyans meddling is because they realize that these people, despite the fact that they say they are democratic countries, are not democratic. And so we are trying, our activists are trying to help. And the reason why, today, Tundu Lissu is in jail. Besigye is in jail. Museveni will be running against himself. Samia Suluhu is running against herself. It basically tells you, and I want it to be repeated, it is not wrong for Kenyans to sympathize with our brothers. The only thing that I will not agree is that we should not interfere with people's affairs. We should not.
But what does it say, and you call Kenya a big brother in this situation?